say that every time I make a video now. But we're just gonna dive right in because I think this is gonna be a long one and I don't want to mess around with any of the intro. So we're gonna just dive right in. This is going to be a close-up whisper. I'll do a little bit of mic brushing with this fancy little puffy guy. And we are going to dig into what's been going on. Now officially, as of January, I have been living in the state of Vermont for a year. One full year. One full year. And I want to tell you a little bit about what that process has been like for me. Because if you've been following me for a while, you know that I made a pretty drastic move from Brooklyn, New York to Vermont, upstate Vermont. And I just want to clarify, I'm going to move this mic a little bit too, I think. There, I'm a little more centered now. I want to clarify that the reason why I haven't been making videos isn't because I didn't want to be, but it's because I felt really called to find myself, to find my place here, to find my sense of community, my people, really rediscover what it is that I want out of life. And I felt that I couldn't really share that process while I was in the midst of it, right? Because I wouldn't know what to say. Because I was just so deep into doing these things, and I've been really busy just taking part in that process, and it's been a really beautiful journey. And so I feel like now that I'm here at this 1 year mark, I can share a little bit of that experience with you. Knowing me, I could make this a 6-hour video if I really wanted. I'm going to do my best to just give you the highlights because I'm going to try to make more videos. It doesn't all need to be in this one, but with all of that said, I've been in Vermont for a year now. I've been living in my home since, let's call it June 1st. So I've had some time to settle, to ground myself, and to find myself here in this space. And I can tell you that I am 100% a different person. Maybe that's a little dramatic. I'm still the same old me in a lot of ways, but my life has just changed so dramatically, so drastically. What I'm doing in my day-to-day is so different. What I'm looking for in my life is so different. I feel I've really evolved into this new version of myself, and I have literally never been happier. So I'm just really grateful that I get to share this update with you. This one is going to be a special one for me, so I do hope you watch. Of course, as always, please let me know how you're doing. Tell me in the comments. I miss hearing from you guys, and I care deeply about what's going on in your lives, so please do share. I will happily read them and respond to them. But I'm going to try to just jump in with the updates now because it's hard to know where to start. And I think once I get going, it will be easier. It's been so long since I've made a video, so I have to get back into the process of sharing my life. So let's start with the house. I'm in my bedroom right now. I've made a lot of changes to it since you've last seen it, probably. Usually I record in my office, which is right next door. But I am digging the natural light in my bedroom. And it's kind of like a fun little background. I've got some art. I've got my little shark squishmallow. And I don't know. I just wanted to try something new. I am consistently switch. The next step is to install heat pumps so we can switch from propane gas to using the heat pumps for our heating system. It's more environmentally friendly and it will be more cost efficient in the long run because winters, as you may have heard in Vermont, can get a little bit brutal. We've been dealing with a bit of a cold snap, in particular this past weekend, and it's still the weekend, so it's still very cold outside, which is why I'm finding some genuine time to sit down and film this video. But the real feel yesterday was negative 40 degrees. It was so cold and so windy, it literally physically hurt to be outside. And if your skin wasn't covered in any way, like, not good. You gotta get back in the house or your car, wherever you're going. Not safe to be outside when it's that cold. So I've been a little bit housebound this weekend for the most part, which I'm happy about because it's giving me time to recenter a little bit. So anyway, lots of house updates. This past summer, I built a garden bed, which was a really fun process. And I planted some spinach, Brussels sprouts, green beans. Those were the big three. And I yielded a good amount of spinach, a little bit of green bean. But the Brussels sprouts I had some issues with because I forget the name of them, but they're basically like a white moth that comes and eats at the Brussels sprout. They wreaked havoc on my little garden, at least for that portion of it. And by the time those moths had, ventured off for the season, it was so late in the season that the Brussels sprouts didn't really have a good chance to fully produce to their potential. So you live and you learn. I'm new to gardening, but I'm excited to get back into it in the spring. Another big update on the house front is that we adopted a 14-year-old Maine Coon Siberian cat mix. He is the most gorgeous cat that I have ever laid my eyes on. His name is Vito, V-I-T-O. That's his pre-existing name. We kept it. And he is just the best. He makes our lives immeasurably better. We love him to pieces. And we got him a month or two after moving into this house. So he's been with us for a good chunk of time now. So we love hanging out with him. When it's warm out, he likes to go for walks and hang out outside and go for rides. And he's an awesome little dude. He doesn't act 14 at all. But I've always had a soft spot for older kitties. So I tend to fall in love with the older guys. So those are, I think I can leave it there with the house stuff. Day to day, everything is always changing. We're making small changes here and there too. Those are the big ones, but always improving the spaces in different ways. So in terms of lifestyle, I guess I can share a few updates there. I've recently gotten really into hot yoga. So I do that at least once a week. I really enjoy the workout component of it, I guess, because with regular yoga, it doesn't often feel like an actual workout. With hot yoga, when the room's like 100 degrees, it very much feels like a workout. So that I appreciate substantially. So I've been doing that. I tried Inferno Hot Pilates yesterday, which was really more like HIIT, high intensity interval training, and it was brutal. It kicked my butt. I don't want to do that class again. Not for a while. I really gotta build up to that. That one was hard, but I've been enjoying say as I, spent way too much money at Target yesterday, but it's a process, right? In other news, I have been dipping my toes into herbalism, which has been a great joy. Actually, what I have right here is a concoction that I recently made, which is a homemade lemon, ginger, honey herbal infusion with a few drops of elderberry syrup and some seltzer water that I mixed in from my soda stream. In my little skeleton wine glass. So, I purchased a few books on herbalism because it's something I've been interested in. And just the medicinal purposes of herbs and how to incorporate them in everyday life. So I have been working on lots of different herbal infusions and teas, learning more about syrups, oils, salves, medicinal sort of bath bundles, and tinctures. I have one I can share with you right now. It looks like this. And what you are looking at, let me show you this one. What you are looking at are little chunks of turmeric and ginger mixed with an additional 3 inches of 100 proof gin. The point of a tincture is to, again, use it for health purposes. So it depends on whatever herb you are creating a tincture out of. But for ginger and turmeric, those are really great antioxidants. Ginger is great for immunity's sake. It also helps with illness and nausea and cramps and just a whole slew of things. Turmeric has a lot of cancer-fighting properties, so that's always good to just incorporate in your everyday. And so once this is fully ready, I can take just a few drops of it whenever I feel like I need it. It could be daily or, however I decide I want to incorporate it into my daily life. But it will serve as an immunity booster. And because you really only need a few drops of it because it's very strong, it will last me a very long time. So it has been sitting in this jar for a few days now. It needs to sit for another, let's call it 5 weeks. So it's a process, it's a journey. But I'm excited about it. So learning more about all of those things has been a lot of fun. And I'm excited to start growing my own herbs. I have a little basil plant by my window right now. He's doing pretty good. I made a really incredible pesto with that basil the other night. So dipping my toes into that. Also because I just spotted it. Another update. I got my nose pierced. And that deserves its own story time. I had the most wonderful experience. Love my piercer. Love the place I went to. The whole process was so incredibly easy. But I really like it. It's just a little gold-plated stud. I do plan to incorporate a hoop at some point. Originally, I did want a septum, but I started out with the stud because I have a lot of sinus issues, and I was worried that the healing process would be too difficult because I do a lot of public-facing events and activities with my job, and the last thing I wanted was this nasty infected septum piercing while I'm trying to be out doing like official things. So I thought, let me start with something on the side of my nose and see how that goes. But it's been going swimmingly, so I'm excited about that. so you're hanging out with friends of friends. And I have some really wonderful coworkers, and so does my housemate. And so we've really been putting ourselves out there and spending time to create meaningful friendships and these senses of community. So it's really exciting. We have a group of girls that we're going to get together with next weekend to do like a little Galentine's outing. We also get together with a group of girls where we are constantly cooking for each other, doing potlucks, plant-based potlucks. We'll read oracle cards and tarot cards and do journaling exercises. We got together for Samhain, which is the pagan tradition of Halloween, and made a huge midnight feast. So we do a lot of really wholesome, wonderful activities together, and I just love getting together with them, and we do it regularly. And then we have another group of folks we get together with, and surprisingly these groups have not intermingled yet, and we do other types of activities with this group. So we go out for drinks, we go bowling, like we would get together for movie nights and game nights, like stuff like that. So the activities, I guess, are slightly different, but still lots of fun. And that's becoming a more regular thing as well. So I've really been prioritizing making these deep connections with people. Also, we have really good relationships with our neighbors, the people we live on the street with, which has been incredible because it's a great help when you're in a new place. Like, our neighbor will plow for us because he just enjoys doing it, and that means that we don't have to shovel the driveway. We also have neighbors that we babysit for. Babysitting is maybe not the term because she's like 12, so she's pretty well off. But we hang out with her and we go do fun stuff with her. And a lot of our neighbors will bake stuff for us, like all of the holidays. People make their rounds and we get baked goods and cookies and treats and cards and stuff like that. So everybody that we live around is just very thoughtful and kind and sweet and helpful, and we're really lucky. Really, really lucky. So of course we do our best to return the favor and to be those people for our neighbors as well. And for everybody that we, spend time with, it's really important to us. So that's obviously been taking up a lot of my time. Work has taken up a lot of my time. I'm really happy with where I'm at in my career right now. For those who don't know, I work for an issue-based climate campaign. And that means that I have a very busy work schedule. I am often traveling around the state, hosting different events, meeting with different legislators and partners and community members, talking about different ways we can take climate action, talking about the climate bills moving forward on the state level, and working with those folks to make sure everything is moving forward effectively, and creating a bridge for community members and legislators to really connect with one another and feel like they are all equally a part of the process. So in a nutshell, that's a lot of what my work consists of, but it's really a lot more than that. It's like behind the scenes stuff that folks don't see that needs to happen as well. So needless to say, I work a lot, and I often am working nights and weekends because we have, events, parades, rallies, community meetings, all this stuff that sounds exhausting but is really energizing and invigorating because the work is so important to me, and I get to meet with people who feel equally as impassioned by that work. So it's really wonderful. Something that I have been doing recently is working to create balance for myself this is work that matters to me. It's something that I'm always thinking about. So it would be really easy to overwork myself, to constantly be on the clock, so to speak. But I'm learning to shut that off, to create boundaries for myself so I can enjoy these other parts of life, so I can make friends and do fun activities and try new things and explore new places. The work is always going to be there. So I am giving myself permission to rest when I need to and take breaks and focus attention on other things, because it's so easy to get caught up into that cycle, at least for me. So that's what I'll say about that, but I'm really pleased with my progress on that front, because for a while there, I was starting to feel burnt out. When you burn out, you're not good to anybody, you're not good to yourself. So very happy about that. Let's see what else. I've also been dipping into the dating pool a little bit, just a little bit. I've gone on some dates. I would say that's lower on the priority scale to me than just forming genuine friendships and the community building aspect. But if the opportunity is there, I'm not gonna knock it, you know what I mean? And I do think that in this work that I do, where I'm out constantly and meeting new people, like, I'm not gonna turn away if there's an opportunity there, right? So that's been an exciting new realm for me, because I have had lots of serious committed relationships, but I haven't dated a lot. You know, the sort of casual, getting to know people thing. I'm newer to that because I'm in a new place where I don't really know anyone. That's much less true now. I think, I live in a small state, so I actually think I do know a lot of people at this point, but still, you get what I'm saying. I don't have this long-term pre-existing pool of people, especially on a dating front. So that's been a cool, fun new experience for me. Pushing myself to try new things and to meet new people. So that's been going well. Again, it's not the biggest priority of mine right now, because I'm really focusing on my own growth and health and well-being. But again, I'm not going to shy away from it either. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. What else can I say? I wrote down some notes. Oh, I just realized that I think the last video I made was about skincare, or one of the last videos. So I have been working hard on the skincare front. I've got some fun updates there, so I'll probably do another video on that, because I have incorporated a lot of new practices to my skincare routine, and I think they're working well. I will say, this piercing has substantially dried out the skin by my nose, because A, it's winter time, and B, I have to spray saline both around and up my nose twice a day just to keep it clean while it's healing, which has really dried out my skin a lot. But it's okay, it's worth it. It's also kind of just what happens when you put a hole through your nose in the middle of winter. But regardless, I'm feeling good about my skincare process. I've been playing around with some microdermabrasion practices and just using different types of serums and oils, or I guess replacements for oils, because I naturally have oily skin. So anyway, I'm excited about. So yeah, I can talk more about those in another video perhaps, because those feel like story times, and this is already almost 30 minutes long. So again, I'm trying really hard to not say way too much, because I'm really good at doing that. This is just an intro. But yeah, I guess kind of just wrapping everything up together in a neat little bow. Things have just felt really good lately. I'm really grateful for the people, the place, all of the things that are surrounding me. That's not to say this past year hasn't had its moments, you know. It has been marked by loss in some ways. I did lose my Nana, who was 80 years old. And, you know, these things happen as our loved ones get older, but it's something that I'm still healing from. Yeah, I took it hard, obviously. Not that it necessarily showed, because I've always been the type to sort of bottle that stuff up, which I'm trying to not do as much, but it's hard. And her loss was a dramatic one, so my mom and I have been dealing with that, and that was the hardest thing, for sure. There have been other types of loss this past year, not death, but perhaps the loss of people that I thought would remain in my life for much longer. Which is just life, right? That happens. But I will say that even those types of loss I feel grateful for, because they've allowed me to grow into this newer version of myself. And they've brought me to where I am today. They've given me new perspectives, and I'm better than I've been in a really long time. So I think it all kind of works out for the most part. Obviously, I wish I didn't have to deal with loved ones passing away, as does anybody else, you know. I'm not alone in that. But I think a lot of times when there is suffering, there are lessons to be learned, and we can grow from those things. So yeah, it's been a crazy year, but it's been so wonderful, and I'm so happy about just all of the opportunities I've had and how far I've come and where I am right now. And I feel like I'm getting to really know myself, and I'm aligning on all of the things that I love and cherish and care about, and the things I want to do in my life. And I'm so proud of myself for that, because, you know, a year ago I was really scared to make this change, but I was so miserable in Brooklyn, you guys, and I had no idea what I wanted or who I was, and this was just everything I needed. So it's all good, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good. Oh, and my hair is really long now. Probably needs a trim. But anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. And I have some good video ideas coming up. But if you have suggestions, recommendations, things you want to see, let me know. Let me know how you're doing. I'm excited to hear from you. I'm excited to get this video up. And I will talk to you all very soon. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this journey with